Welcome to the Explainer. Look, if you're the kind of person who just absolutely loves to optimize, always looking for that most efficient way to learn, to grow, and to build for your future, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're unpacking a financial secret that is quite literally hiding in plain sight. We're going to look at a very specific mechanism in the tax code that honestly most people completely misunderstand. It's a total anomaly, like a true unicorn in the finance world. And once you see the math behind this, there is no way you'll ever look at your savings the same way again.
So, before we get into the nuts and bolts of how it actually works, I want to pose a question to you. And fair warning, it's going to sound like an absolute impossibility. What is the only triple tax-free account in the entire tax code? Seriously, think about that for a second. We hear a lot about accounts that give you a tax break today, right? Or maybe accounts that give you a break decades from now when you finally retire. But triple tax-free? An account that shields your money in 3 distinct, incredibly powerful ways? Most tools out there give you 1 benefit, maybe 2 if you're really lucky. But 3? Come on, it almost sounds like a typo in the tax code.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the answer to that impossible-sounding question is actually the Health Savings Account, or the HSA. Now, hold on, I know exactly what you're thinking. Health Savings Account. Wow, that sounds incredibly boring. But by its very definition, it's a financial account offering a tax-free combination found absolutely nowhere else. Do not let the word health distract you from the sheer mathematical reality of what this vehicle actually is. When you strip away the naming convention and you just look at the raw mechanics of how money behaves inside this thing, it is a structural masterpiece. Let's break down exactly what that means, because this is where the mathematical power just becomes undeniable. Think about the mechanics of these 3 steps. Step 1, money goes in untaxed. You put $1 in, the government doesn't take a slice. Step 2, it grows untaxed. As your investments compound, year after year, decade after decade, there's 0 tax drag. It just builds and builds, completely untaxed. And step 3, it comes out untaxed. When you finally withdraw it for qualified expenses, you guessed it, untaxed. Untaxed on the way in, untaxed as it grows, untaxed on the way out. The absolutely crucial point here is that this compounding effect happens in a total vacuum, completely away from taxation. It's just an unbroken chain of efficiency.
And somehow the benefits get even better. Like if the triple tax-free thing wasn't enough to convince you we're dealing with a unicorn, avoiding FICA taxes is totally the cherry on top. FICA taxes, the ones that fund Social Security and Medicare, they take a really noticeable bite out of your paycheck before you even see it. While most traditional retirement accounts, they do not let you bypass FICA taxes when you contribute through payroll. But the HSA does. When you fund it through payroll deductions, you're bypassing income tax and you're bypassing FICA tax. It's a mathematical anomaly that simply doesn't exist anywhere else in the code.
Right, so we've established that we're basically looking at the single most mathematically optimized account in existence. But here is where the dramatic tension comes in. How are people actually using this incredibly powerful tool? Well, the data reveals something pretty crazy. A massive 90% of users treat their HSA simply as a checking account for medical bills. Money goes in from their paycheck, and then, a few weeks later, money goes right back out to pay for a doctor's visit or prescription, or maybe a pair of glasses.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer scale of the misunderstanding. 90%, literally 9 out of 10 people, are taking this structural masterpiece of the tax code and just using it as a temporary holding pen for their short-term bills. Think about the gravity of that massive missed opportunity. By treating it like a standard checking account, 90% of users are entirely neutralizing the second and honestly, arguably the most important phase of that triple tax-free structure we just talked about. They are completely missing out on the untaxed growth.
Financial experts actually point out the real tragedy of that 90% statistic. By using it as a pass-through account for immediate medical bills, users are, quote, missing the growth that makes it the most efficient retirement vehicle in existence. I mean, let that reality sink in for a second. The most efficient retirement vehicle in existence. Because if you immediately spend the money you put into the HSA, it has no time to compound. It has 0 time to grow. The true magic of the HSA isn't just the tax deduction you get today, it's the decades of untaxed compound growth. When you just leave the money in the account and pay for your current medical bills out of pocket instead, you allow that HSA balance to snowball into a massive, completely tax-free nest egg for the future. And this brilliantly illustrates the entire paradigm shift we need to make today. On one hand, we have the mundane myth, right? Treating the HSA as just a checking account for bills. That's the 90%. That's the strategy of missing out. But on the other hand, we have the mathematical reality, the most efficient retirement vehicle out there. This is the 10% who actually understand the source code.
Moving from that old mindset into this new reality requires a complete mental reframe. You actually have to stop seeing the HSA as just a way to pay for a Band-Aid today and start seeing it for what it is, the ultimate wealth-building engine for your future. Which brings us to our final thought. And really, it's a question you have to ask yourself right now. Are you treating the ultimate retirement vehicle like a mere checking account? Are you part of that 90% leaving massive compound growth on the table? Or are you ready to harness the only triple tax-free anomaly in the entire tax code? The math is literally sitting right there, just waiting for you to use it to its absolute full potential. How you deploy it? Well, that's entirely up to you. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I will catch you in the next explainer.